What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of EdgeWorks Knife Studio. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate just something simple, because I'm still working on a few other things to showcase, like the vitrified diamonds and whatnot. But what I'm going to do here today is use a vitrified standard type stone, which uses like the AlOx, aluminum oxide, the Suehiro Cerax, versus a non-vitrified type stone, which uses a Magnesia bonder, which is the Chosera 1000. They're both 1000 grit stones. I'll be using an easier to sharpen steel with these types of stones, which is going to be Shirogami 2, but they're both from the same manufacturer. One's just a Funayuki, and then the other one's a Santoku. But what I'm going to do is just kind of demonstrate the speed difference, because there will be a difference, even though these are both easier to sharpen steels. You'll see a difference in speed between the Cerax and the Chosera. And then we'll do a comparison of the edges under the microscope. But like I said, I'm also going to do a broader comparison at some point. I've just been working on putting a few things together. So we'll just go from there. So we'll, oh, one other thing, that's something I was going to mention. I had a little brain fart moment there. I did get a new channel sponsor, and they're going to be sending me some stuff here very soon. It's Vevor, or Vevor, however you want to say it, Vevor. Everybody's seen them on Amazon and stuff. They are now a sponsor of the channel. They're sending me a new belt grinder, belt sander. I'm going to use it to sharpen knives, make knives, and use it for various tasks, of course, with knives. Should have that in a few days, but they're sending me, first of all, they're going to send me the 1x30 version that looks like the larger 1x72s, and also looks like my Grizzly 2x42 that has the flat platen, and then it has the wheel and stuff like that. It'll be great for some detail work, and I think it'll be really good for doing like removing the cladding. I think it'll be really good for doing that. I mean, obviously my other grinder is too, but the smaller one with the grinding wheel will be able to demonstrate that, you know, with less aggression, I guess, so to speak. Anyway, when it gets here, I'll figure out some content and I'll show you guys, and we'll have actually some coupons if anyone's ever interested in this kind of stuff. If you are interested in a belt grinder, these types at their price points are very good to have because they're versatile. Especially this one that comes with not only the flat platen, but it comes with one of the grinding wheel attachments. Those are great for hollow grinds and all kinds of different stuff. Anyway, we'll go over all that when it gets here. Today we're going to focus on this. So the Cerax, the Suehiro Cerax, as everyone knows, is a soaking stone. So I've had it soaking here, I don't know, probably 5, close to 10 minutes, whatever. The Chosera, the Naniwa Chosera, is not, so we'll not soak it. But I'll go ahead and pull this guy out. This is one of my big time favorite stones to use, and it's because of that whole thing, the weird thing with me, and how I like the kind of a chalky kind of a feel and stuff like that, and the sound. So it's one of my absolute favorites. And if you guys live in the areas with these cold snaps here recently, man, it went from 70 something degrees to 30 overnight, like insanity. Just for the record, these were both dull, and I dulled them a little more with that diamond plate. But I had dulled these using them in some other tests and stuff. So I did at one point for a different test that I haven't done the video release on it yet. I put bevels on them from 400 to 1,000, and because I had done a quote kind of zero grind type of bevel, although it probably wasn't exactly zero. And anyway, that's those knives that I did that demonstration with. but I went ahead and put bevels on them for some other demonstrations too. And I was doing some tests. So anyway, they've both been dulled. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring it back with the 1000 here. So let's go ahead, we'll listen to the Cerax. It's actually nice and quiet. It's been a minute since I've used the Cerax, honestly. I might take this jacket off. It's going to get in the way and get all wet, probably. These stones, both of them, were flattened from their last use. I did not recently flatten them, just FYI. So we got a good start to a burr there. I'm not used to stones loading up on me. Get so spoiled. I'm gonna go ahead and take this jacket off. When you get spoiled with the diamonds and stuff, and stones that don't load, you get used to stuff, you know? But that's okay. That doesn't mean anything bad. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Today being Veterans Day, so thank you to all the veterans out there. My dad was a Navy man. Had some lunch with him today. His health is definitely declining. Okay. I honestly think that we'll be good to move on from here. I'm going to double check though. I'm going to look at this bevel. It's actually fairly quiet. I didn't remember the chalky Cerax experience being that quiet. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've used that stone though, so. Man, I think I'm still lost my voice a little bit from being sick. That's just crazy. Gotta get a little bit back here. It's nothing major, but it just wasn't even. And I'm pretty darn OCD about that. Okay. Double check once more. Make sure I feel comfortable moving on. I do believe we're good. So this burr, just for reference, it is not a massive burr, and it has to do with the angle I'm using for this particular knife for the tests that I wanted to perform. So I'm not kind of like, because, you know, if you lay it down a certain angle, you're going to get a bigger burr. Now, it's not just the angle that'll do it, but I've noticed, and I'm sure many of you have, that your angle and how steep it is depends on how big the burr can get. If you lay it down flatter, I feel that I get a larger burr. And I think that's because it's taking more surface area, obviously. So this is a smaller burr due to the reason of having a somewhat steeper angle. I would, if I was guesstimating what I was holding my angle at for this particular situation, I would probably guess around 17 degrees-ish. Because I just do it slightly higher than my normal natural hold, which I've measured to be around, between 13.8 and 15. So I'm going just slightly larger than that. And again, these are guesstimations, so. What do you guys think? Let's hear in the comments. Who thinks which one's going to be quicker or better? The vitrified Suehiro Cerax or the Chosera 1000, the Magnesia binder? I don't know. For me, I think the Cerax is going to win. That's just me. I'm going to call that out right now. I could be 1,000% wrong. But that's my 2 cents. Let's make a bet. Let's gamble on it. The Cerax does a really good job at a Kasumi finish too, by the way. Just FYI. Okay, this seems to be on pace with what we were just on the other side. Let me just double check the evenness here. Make everything fair. I do need more attention towards the tip. So I'll start there real quick. A little more agua. Now it's starting to sound more like the chalky. I wonder if it didn't like form some kind of layer after sitting or something. That's kind of weird. It didn't seem like it had. But it sounds way more chalky now. Okay, let's double check. Yeah, I mean, that sound changed significantly. Yeah, we got a good burr. It matches pretty much again what it was on the other side. I did make it slightly bigger. That's on me. That's probably why the sound changed. Oh, maybe not that much. Just a slight little bit. And it's only in one spot, and that's where I was putting some more pressure. So that's not too bad then. That's a total me thing, of course, obviously. All right, we're going to go ahead and deburr it. So what I will do is I'll deburr it. I don't know if I want to... It depends on how the deburr process goes, whether or not I want to strop it before doing any test cuts. To me, stropping just kind of ensures that I get it all, you know. I don't always succeed with the stone. Anybody ever watch Yoshihiro Cutlery? I think is who it is. They make knives, of course, and I think it's the same Yoshihiro we're all thinking of. I notice whenever they do deburring movements, they'll do this, kind of, and maybe even like one of these, but then they go to this, and they'll go, like they'll cut across. I don't know. It's interesting, I thought. It's just interesting, like it's a whole... And they always have their stones tilted, just like most Japanese artisans do. They'll be, you know, sloped down. Always found that interesting. I wonder what the advantage is to that. Anyway, something maybe I'll try sometime. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and check. Okay, bring you up here. We'll do our little cut test. Let's just listen with our ears. Man, that cut's really nice. No catches, no hangs. I'm going to grab our paper towel. Let's see what we got. Well, that's a good old tear. So right there, we have a good, nice paper towel cut. So that's the Funayuki. It's done with the Suehiro. And again, inspecting these bevels, I'm just, yeah. I'm so worried that I made the whole thing, excuse me, a larger bevel on this side, but I did not. Just in one spot. Okay. That'll be fixed with the next sharpening, so that's no big deal. I'm not worried about that. So that was good. Cut paper towel. Nice clean cut through the... It never freaking fails. I smacked this little piece of plastic hanging thing here. I wonder if that damaged anything. Curious. Well, I'll be darned. No. Anyway, so we cut paper towel cleanly. We use the Suehiro Cerax. No issues there. I'm just going to wipe this off the surface with the rust eraser real fast. And then we're going to grab our Naniwa Chosera 1000. Okay. I'm not worried about any contamination because they're both 1000 grit stones. There's not enough that I did there to even really manifest any issues from using the water. So I'll just use that just the same. Okay. And our Naniwa Chosera Pro. I wish I would have gotten the earlier version of this, but I did not. I do have the 400 in the earlier Japanese released version. You guys have seen that on the channel before. It's one of my favorite lower grit stones, but I mean, I found others that perform better than it, but I still love using it. I mean, it's the one on the base. I got this from Amazon Japan, $35. Forgot how long ago I got it from them, but well before the tariffs, of course. I don't know what everything's costing right now. Adanma was mentioning whenever he got an FSK that the tariff charge was like around $80. But you gotta remember the FSKs are roughly around $500, and I think they charge you based on overall value, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. It changes like daily anyway, so, or so it seems. Okay. Naniwa Chosera. Here we go with the Santoku. Same process. Same angle. And away we go. Make your bets now. Which one's going to do better? So the difference again is this is a Magnesia binder and the Suehiro Cerax is a vitrified binder. Same type of passes. I do not count. I just go by feel. Oh, funny little story here while I'm doing this. So, you know, as humans, we kind of get sucked in by these weird things now and again. Competition, obviously, is definitely one, and achievements, right? Achievements are another. So on Reddit, anybody that uses Reddit with any frequency knows that they give you achievements for certain things that you can do. Some of them as being in the top 25%, 10%, 5%, 1% of commenters, or upvotes in a specific thread, etc., things like that. One of the things that I had a streak going for was for the consecutive days commenting on any thread. It didn't matter. It could have been any one of the threads that I was joined to. So I had 480 days where I made just one comment in any one of those threads that I was a part of. I don't know what happened, if I thought maybe that I was commented that day or something, but I woke up, you know, like I always do the next morning, and I went to go comment, and because my next goal was 500 day streak. So 500 consecutive days of commenting, and then like I said, I was at 480 something, and then it said day 1 of 500, and I was like, oh my God. So I'm not doing that anymore. I mean, it's so silly. It's just a badge, and it doesn't mean anything. I don't think anybody cares but me, because it was just something I had going, and I broke my streak. How sad and pathetic is that? Anybody else do stuff like that, though? Things that mean nothing, but they, for whatever reason, bring you some kind of joy? So I have a little burr. I believe I could continue, but I feel that I need to progress just a little bit more. And that was about the same as I did the other one. I mean, I'm just going to give it a few more swipes. I don't really feel good about that one, but I'm just going to give it a couple more swipes. Not much. I'll just do it like this. How's this? I'll just do that. I don't know. We'll see. This is a test, right? This is a test between vitrified and non-vitrified, and to see the results. So I don't know. Maybe it's fine. It's so super fine because it's Chosera that I can't really tell. if I was probably doing this, you know, just to use it or for a customer, I would be fine because it looks fine, okay? But the way it feels, it just for whatever reason gave me a little reservation. But that's fine. This is what this is about, right? We're experimenting. We're learning. We're playing. We're getting answers. Now, obviously, vitrification for non-diamond stones is a little different. Same concept, same idea, same principle. A little different outcome because of the abrasive types, right? You get a little bit more freedom with heat when you're using aluminum oxide, which the Cerax uses. You know, diamonds, you have a temperature limit. You can't go over it. I don't remember if it was 800 something. I don't remember. Either 800 something or 900 something Celsius. Then they just turn into black carbon. They're just disintegrated. So now you could use CVN. CVN has a higher flash point, I guess, so to speak. It's not really a flash point, but a higher cook point. So that's one way to kind of get around that. But anyway, you just got more freedom as far as temperature goes and getting a good melt, a good binder melt going on. So speaking of which, I kind of put making my stones on a hiatus a little bit because of, number one, Cheefarcuut coming out with their stone was just amazingly priced. There's no way to compete with that. But number two, you know, because I needed to build a controller for my kiln at the school. But Vevor, my new channel sponsor, they have kilns and I believe heat treat ovens. So after I get this grinder and do the video for them, I'm going to try and get them to send me one of those too. Again, so if anyone's interested, I do have affiliate links if anyone wants to buy anything from Vevor, and I can get you affiliate links and put them down below or send them to you, whatever you want. And you can get like a little discount too. So that actually feels pretty good. Looks good. I'm going to go ahead and give it just a couple of swipes, just like I did with the other knife, like I did the other side. But yeah, Vevor has a whole host of things like heaters, generators, knife making equipment, power tools, lawn tools, and you know, all kinds of crazy stuff. I didn't realize actually how much they did have. It's kind of like that brand, Wen, W-E-N, that's on Amazon. It's orange and black. Okay, deburr. Just got a little bit of everything. Just light, as always, with the deburring strokes. Essentially the knife's pressure, guiding it with my fingers. Not adding any additional pressure. Let's do a, make it fair, right? Yeah, so weird. All right, I'm sure we're good. Probably like beyond good. I'm more interested in seeing the difference in the bevels. I mean, I believe this is going to cut just fine, so. All right. Grab the same piece of paper just for saving the environment or something. I don't know. I think that cuts smoother. Let me cut this off here. Good Lord. Okay, let's listen. It's quieter at a minimum, all right? Yeah, that feels super smooth. You have to remember too, these knives are very thin. I mean, I thin them to the nth degree. Like, these are very well maintained knives. I don't know if I can use this same paper towel, but we'll try. It's not fair, but I'll go ahead. Yeah, it's just gonna tear. Try this side real quick before I grab a new one. It's gonna cut it though, I can see it. It cut that one just a little bit. God dang it. I always want to dig that corner right into it. I'll try and bring it out some. Yeah, it's cutting it. Oh yeah. So, as far as the difference in performance, one thing we got to keep in mind first and foremost, these are two high quality stones. The Chosera, for whatever reason, I didn't feel confident on the first side that it was going to stack up to the Cerax's side, but I think that's just a difference in the feel too, because the Chosera feels velvety and smooth. The Cerax feels chalky, and I don't want to say rough, because rough is the wrong word, but for lack of a better term, it is rougher feeling as far as the texture goes. Both excellent feedback. So I don't know. I think maybe the microscope will tell us how these bevels look. Maybe that'll be the difference, because you'll be able to maybe see the difference in vitrified versus the Magnesia binder. But again, it could just be boiled down to two high quality stones. Now, honestly, one of the things that you run into with vitrified is you have a more durable stone. So as we know, the Chosera, you can't soak it for a very long time because it'll fall apart. The Cerax, I believe you can, I don't know if you can perma-soak them. I never really looked at that because that's something I've never ever had an interest in, was perma-soaking, because I'm not bothered by a 10-minute soak or whatever. But I believe you can soak it for a pretty long time at a minimum. Just like with the King, as a test, the King, you can soak it. Like, I've got one over there that's been soaking now for roughly almost a year. It's not come out of the water one time and it's solid as a rock. If you did that to a Chosera, this thing would probably be like pieces. So anyway, I think that's one of the things you got to think about too with vitrified, is your durability. So your stone is probably gonna maybe not necessarily wear less when it comes to these type of stones, aluminum oxide and whatever else, but they're going to stand up to water and use maybe a little better. So I'll get some more information on that and let you guys know. But as far as cutting goes, these things both cut great as far as I'm concerned. They felt identical as far as what they did to the edge. So we'll look at it under the microscope here. I'll pop one up right now. You guys tell me what you think. So was the result what you thought? Did you think there was going to be any huge difference? Did you think that the Chosera was going to be better? Let me know. And then I'll put some other stuff together too with the other vitrified stuff, and then that sintered ruby stone, and just some more information, and just kind of do like a summary of everything as well, just to kind of cover that whole basis, of sintered versus vitrified, and what we learned so far. What I think personally is the differences between them are small, and it's more probably of a preference type thing, because they both perform really well. There are some downfalls to one versus the other, but they're trade-offs for other things. So we'll go over all that in a summarization. So anyway, I appreciate you all tuning in. As always, you guys are the reason I keep this up. I look forward to doing some more stuff. I can't wait to get that grinder and show you guys some stuff with that. That's going to be a lot of fun, and some future projects. So anyway, thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you this weekend. Peace.